A Riker of Tomorrow. Strange New Worlds guest star casts his eyes on TNG's iconic role. In a galaxy of infinite possibilities, even the most beloved characters may one day return, in new form, through new actors, or on new terms. That's the dream shared by Cillian O'Sullivan, guest star of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, who recently revealed that if the Next Generation were ever rebooted, his heart lies in one unforgettable role: Commander William T. Riker. O'Sullivan, who plays Dr. Roger Corby on Strange New Worlds, spoke with Screen Rant about his deep love for Star Trek, the Next Generation TNG. As he put it, he grew up massive into TNG lore, and with that fandom comes aspiration. Maybe this would be a tragedy if they did, but if they ever remade Star Trek, the Next Generation, he said, I think I'd grow a pretty epic beard. That's all I'm saying. And I do a crackin' American accent. The undeniable allure of Commander Riker. To understand why O'Sullivan would hope to take on Riker's boots and beard, it's worth revisiting what made Riker so memorable in the first place. Commander Riker, as portrayed by Jonathan Frakes, was more than just Picard's number one. He was charismatic, bold, and deeply human, a roguish first officer with a powerful presence, a playful spirit, and emotional complexity. He could lead away missions, he could romance Troy, and he could debate command decisions with moral weight. Over 7 seasons of TNG, 4 films, and appearances on Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Lower Decks, and Picard, Frakes made Riker iconic. That legacy is not easy to match or to step into, but O'Sullivan clearly feels the pull, both as a fan and as an actor. He speaks reverently about Riker, but also with a sort of playful boldness. Yes, he'd commit to the beard, yes, he'd try the accent, yes, he'd take on the mantle. Why Corby's actor wants Riker, and why it matters. There's something poetic about O'Sullivan's desire. He plays Roger Corby, a legacy character from the original series, in Strange New Worlds. Corby is not entirely innocent. He becomes villainous, challenging both moral and personal boundaries. In a way, O'Sullivan's Corby is a bridge to the past TOS, to the present Strange New Worlds, and potentially to the future a TNG reboot. His dream of becoming Riker suggests more than just career ambition. It reflects a genuine love for Starfleet's ethos, for character-driven storytelling, and for continuity across the Star Trek franchise. He also opts for a traditional view of Riker: American accent, full beard, gravitas, and swagger intact. That choice signals respect for what came before, but also courage to embody something beloved, rather than to reinvent it radically. The challenges of rebooting TNG and recasting Riker. Of course, a TNG reboot is not a guarantee. Star Trek: The Next Generation hasn't been reimagined in a full reboot form so far. The franchise's more recent reboots have focused on the Kirk era or entirely new storylines. Still, rumors and fan speculation persist, and casting remains a sensitive matter. Recasting Riker would be especially tricky. Legacy weight. Jonathan Frakes is deeply associated with Riker. Fans have followed his journey over decades. Stepping into that role would demand more than talent. It would demand respect. Expectations. A reboot needs to honor the spirit of TNG while bringing something fresh. A new Riker would need charisma, leadership, emotional range, and perhaps most importantly, believability. Creative risk. Paramount or other producers would have to balance nostalgia with innovation. Would they recreate the Enterprise D aesthetic, the same crew dynamics, or reimagine the story entirely? Despite these challenges, O'Sullivan seems undeterred. His dream is grounded but ambitious, a genuine tribute to the character's legacy, not a flippant fantasy. What would O'Sullivan bring to Riker? Imagining O'Sullivan as Riker invites a host of intriguing possibilities. 1. Physical presence and charm. From his performance as Corby, O'Sullivan has shown he can handle both gravitas and lightness. Riker is a strong leader but also a romantic, witty, and vulnerable character, one that demands an actor comfortable navigating all those dimensions. 2. Respect for legacy plus willingness to reimagine. By embracing the beard and accent, O'Sullivan signals his commitment to honoring Riker's established identity. Yet, as a younger actor relative to Frakes, he could also offer a fresh energy, perhaps exploring a Riker earlier in his career or addressing new challenges in a modern Starfleet. 3. Cross-series synergy. Already part of the Strange New Worlds ecosystem, O'Sullivan could bring a bridge between series. If he played Riker, his existing connection to the franchise might give him insights into how to balance legacy and innovation, something a completely external actor might find harder to do. 4. Passion as a fan. O'Sullivan's fandom is genuine. As he described in his interview, he grew up loving TNG. That passion often translates into more invested, thoughtful performances. He's not just auditioning for a role, he's enacting a deeply personal aspiration. The broader implications of a Riker reboot: if Paramount or any future production seriously considered rebooting TNG and recasting Riker, there would be broader implications worth discussing. Generational handoff. A newer Riker could symbolize a shift, not just in casting, but in the Star Trek era. It could reflect a passing of the torch from the original TNG generation to a new generation of Starfleet stories, blending old wisdom with new perspectives. Diversity and modern themes. A reboot offers opportunities to explore Starfleet today, with contemporary issues, modern socio-political contexts, and more inclusive storytelling. A new Riker might engage in new moral dilemmas, leadership challenges, or relationships in ways that resonate with today's audiences. Legacy versus reinvention. Rebooting TNG raises questions. How much do you lean into nostalgia? How much do you rewrite? A casting like O'Sullivan's could signal a soft reboot, one that respects the past but is unafraid to grow. Fan reaction. Some fans would celebrate a fresh Riker with open arms. Others might resist comparing any actor to Frakes. The success of such a venture would likely hinge on balancing reverence with innovation, something Star Trek has wrestled with for decades. But is it feasible? Realistically, is a TNG reboot likely? Right now, the answer is unclear. Though Star Trek has embraced revival and reimagination with Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, and more, a full next-generation reboot has not yet materialized. Yet, the conversation continues to simmer. Strange New Worlds itself points to Paramount's willingness to revisit earlier Starfleet eras. Guest stars like O'Sullivan expressing their interest keeps the idea alive in the media and among the fandom. Legacy cast members like Jonathan Frakes remain connected to the franchise. They continue to act, direct, and influence Star Trek in meaningful ways. So while a reboot isn't imminent, the pieces are not entirely out of reach. The ambition of actors like O'Sullivan helps keep the dream alive. A fan's dream and a statement of fandom. What makes O'Sullivan's statement especially compelling is how it embodies the spirit of Star Trek itself: curiosity, aspiration, and a deep respect for the icons who came before. He isn't just chasing career advancement, he's channeling a genuine love for the franchise. His desire to play Riker is built on admiration, not mere opportunism. By publicly putting himself forward, he's contributing to a broader conversation about Star Trek's future. He's saying, "I want to be part of this legacy, not just as a guest star, but as someone who carries that torch." This is not just about recasting a role, it's about renewal. It's about the possibility that a new generation of actors might step into the minds and hearts of Trek lore's greatest characters and do them justice. What fans and Paramount might want to watch for: if a TNG reboot ever comes to pass, here are some key things to consider, especially through the lens of someone like O'Sullivan wanting to play Riker. 1. Casting vision. Would they cast someone who closely resembles Frakes' Riker or lean into a fresh interpretation? O'Sullivan seems to envision a classic Riker beard, accent, presence, but what if they reimagined his background, personality, or trajectory? 2. Tone and direction. A reboot could stay Riker lead the same kind of nuanced mission of discovery, or face different stakes entirely.